Welcome
Cool.
back to another episode of A Girl Business Podcast. Today I have with me Nancy Presser, who you may know from Sacred Space over in Greenville. Well, today we're in her studio in Quincy, which is right above Plumas Arts. We're in the Plumas Arts building. And I'm going to let you take it from here and introduce yourself to the people of Quincy.
Okay. All right. Great. Hi, I'm Nancy Presser. I'm a massage therapist with over 27 years of experience, but I'm also a transformational life coach. And so I'm recently certified with the Brave Thinking Institute, and I help people design and create and live a life they love, which I'm excited about. Which I love so much.
So let's start as far back as you want to take it, how you got here, what your path has been, because I know you do massage, and that's how the people in Greenville know you.
Right.
And then you also have the book, like you sent me the Abundant Healer.
Yes.
And that was great. So you do a multitude of things.
I do.
So let's talk about that whole path.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
No such thing as talking too much on podcasts.
Okay, excellent. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. So 27 years ago, I was a receptionist at a acupuncture school, and they couldn't pay me enough couldn't pay me the salary I wanted. So they said, well, what if we kicked in massage school for you? And I said, okay. And it was just at a time in my life, I was in sales, I was totally burnt out, I was making six figures, and I couldn't function, so I became a temp. And then when they offered that, I'm like, okay. And when I put my hands on people, I just felt like I had found what I was supposed to do in my life. And so I did that for 27 years, and I picked up also when my second child was born. I felt like I needed something else to, I don't know, just, women I need something else. I don't want to just be a mom. I need something else. And so I became yoga certified in 2009. Yep. And at that time, also, there's no Tai Chi certifications, but at the time, I was teaching yoga and I was teaching Tai Chi at the YMCA in Gig Harbor, Washington. And so went through a life change like we all do, and somehow made it to Greenville. There's a story there. But anyway, and I had a choice. Am I going to go get a job, or am I going to do what I love doing? And so I opened a massage studio and Tai Chi studio in Greenville. And thank you, everybody in Greenville, and thank you, everybody in Plumas County, because you guys loved me. And you embraced me and embraced my children and really supported me for a long time. So I'm really grateful for you guys for doing that. And then, of course, about 2019 came, and I was like just feeling that itch again. I wasn't fully satisfied with my massage and teaching, and I'm really sorry, clients, because if you felt that, because I was just going through another change, and I started to dabble into the online space in probably 2016, but I never had enough confidence and never really found my voice. I just felt like I was throwing spaghetti at the wall. And so in 2019, I took a leap and did a lot of investing in myself, like thousands of dollars in myself, which, coming from somebody who felt like a poor healer and somebody who didn't have financial freedom at that time, was very scared of making investments. That was a huge deal for me, but it just, that's what helped me heal my money story, helped me really start to take the online space seriously. I went to Australia in 2020.
Did you try the Vegemite?
I
Not to interrupt.
I have had it before. It's not my favorite cup of tea. It's very salty, right?
That's what I hear, yeah.
It's very salty. Yeah. So I started doing things when I started to heal my money story. I started to do things that I never thought that I was going to ever be able to do in my lifetime, because whatever mindset I grew up with or carried with me, I was always just settling for my current situation and my, for what was conditional, what was the situation, what was the reality, until I learned that we get to create our reality. And we can have a fun reality. I mean, we can have anything we want. We can have so much fun. And so that investment again in myself and going to Australia, I had gone through 2 bankruptcies before this. So putting money on a credit card was like really scary for me because I'd already had 2 bankruptcies, but I made a decision that I was going to pay this credit back. And so going to Australia was like a really huge deal for me. Like not only being there, but I was around a whole bunch of people who were in a business space that I was in. And it's just when you're around people who are uplifting and positive, you become uplifting and positive, and then you get the tools and you grow and you have a better life. So that was amazing. And of course, I met this woman who, she's my friend today. We had talked before we went to Australia. We met each other on the plane to Australia, and we've been best friends ever since. Yeah. And so 2020 came around, and I was actually in Australia when everything shut down, and we were the last large group of convention kind of thing in Australia before they shut everybody down. Actually, like on Friday night while we were there, New Zealand shut down, and they announced, anybody who's from New Zealand, you better go home now or you're going to have to quarantine. And even though I wanted to stay in Australia longer, and it was a possibility, my husband's like, you need to come home. The shit's in the fan here. And then I came home to the lockdown, and, I tried to do different things online again to keep people motivated and stuff, but it was just I think that was the beginning of the waning of my energy and passion in what I was doing. And then 2021 came and burnt everything down, including my home, my business, and my community. And I was like, okay, somebody's trying to tell me something here. Yeah. So then I went into disaster work and worked for 4 years with Pumice Rural Services because I could not go back into doing massage. I could not even fathom putting my hands on somebody and trying to be a healer at that time. And I did my best to help people in their recovery. I know I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm so sorry. Anybody who's watching, if you were a mistake, I apologize. Honestly and truthfully, it was new, it was difficult, but it taught me a lot about how to be with people, and definitely how to be with people who are in trauma. And then I transitioned from Pumice Rural Services and started working for Recover California to help other people, get grants for rebuilding a home or getting the fire mitigation. And again, that taught me that it ain't no fun to be in a soul-suckling job. I probably would have stayed there if they hadn't laid me off. And that tends to be like a little cycle in my life. I put up with a lot. I put up with a lot. I mean, I was in my first relationship for 20 years before I divorced my husband, the kid's father. And I really put up with a lot before I made that decision. So when I was laid off, I'm so grateful for my partner now, because he was in the room with me and he just sat with me and supported me through that little conversation. It wasn't so bad. But he was like, now what? And I'm like, I don't know. Now what? And I just allowed the universe to start putting breadcrumbs in front of me, and I just took the next logical step forward. I listened to a webinar by a woman by the name of Mary Morrissey, and she blew my mind because she talked about mindset, she talked about energy work, all the things that I am passionate about. And she said, if you're not getting the results in your life that you would love, it's because you don't have the love behind it to get the result. And it just really blew me away because that's how I'd been feeling about my life. I was doing all the things, but there wasn't a lot of love and passion behind it. So I went through her 12-week program in 2 weeks because I was a nerd and had time off, and I was absorbing the material. And I said, I want everybody to know what she's teaching. I want everybody on the planet to know these tools. I want everybody to live a life they love, because if everybody's living a life they love, then everybody on the planet is going to be happy and healthy and loving to each other. And I mean, I think that would be a really awesome place, honestly, for me. So that's how I got certified to be a transformational life coach. It lit me up, and I hadn't been lit up in that kind of way in a long time. Yeah.
So, what was the program in Australia?
The Australian program was through a parent company is called Anagic, and it's a Japanese producer of these amazing water filtration devices. And so in Australia, my team in the direct sales, they're called the Freedom Era. And so they really helped me open up the whole mindset about money mindset and sales and everything. It wasn't about selling this water filtration device, which is amazing. I will say it again. It's amazing. But it was really about personal growth and development and how to be a business leader and not really just selling a product to people. But yeah, I use my Anagic machine today. It produces 6 different kinds of water. So I don't buy any toxic chemical ingredients. It does my laundry, cleans my stove. It has a water that takes care of all that antibacterial stuff, and then 3 types of pH water, which is everybody's like, oh, the pH water, the pH. I produce it at home, off the tap, and so I save lots of money because I produce it at home. So I drink 9.0 water every day, and I produce it from my sink, and I love it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you did the Australia program, and then you came back, and then the fire, sounds like, and then you went into the crisis work.
Correct.
And then you're feeling like pretty drained, but you would have stayed, but you got laid off.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, that's kind of, I've never heard of somebody that got laid off and their life didn't get better after.
Right.
I'll just say that.
Good to know. Good to know.
I've never.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah,
Because you kind of feel yucky.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you kind of feel really off-centered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone that's like,
Okay.
it was worse. It's always been the best thing.
I love hearing that.
Yes.
Awesome.
So you have this time because you got laid off from there. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And that's when her name's Mary
Morrissey.
Mary Morrissey.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you go through that program, become certified coach. And then where does your business go from there?
Oh my goodness. Well, along the traveling roads of my life, I started doing massage again because all of my old clients from Greenville that were staying in Greenville were like, when are you doing massage again? When are you doing massage again? So thus I have this studio and I share it with a friend of mine. And so I'm still doing that. On the side for anybody who wants. I'm still doing massage. I also have a studio in Chester for anybody on that side of the county. And my dear friend Lisa Forcino wants me to rent a space for her in Crescent Mills. So I am considering that. It's in the head, it's in the brain. So I'm not teaching the yoga or Tai Chi anymore, kind of let that go. And then I am, I don't know what they call it. I'm an insurance provider for the veterans. So if anybody's a veteran and they want massage, they can go to their veteran affairs person, get a prescription for massage, and then I can be your provider. So
that's good to know. That's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm working with some guys in Quincy right now, and they get 12 sessions. It's paid for by the VA. And it's just making a huge difference for them. And, that's me. I love making a difference in somebody's life. I mean, it's just kind of who I am as a person. And then, so I'm a certified Life Mastery Consultant is what it's called. And so we start with a 12-week program. I call it Reclaim Your Life, but it's really packaged lovely from Mary and her business. And we do a one-on-one coaching session and take you through 10 steps that will up-level your life. We have coaching, you have videos to watch, you have homework to do, but I'm telling you, this is like stuff that you love to do. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. It's fun. And then you see your life change and your life transform. And it's all based on just asking yourself one question, an important question, because we all know that the higher calibrated the questions we ask ourselves, the better our life gets. And this question's simple. It's just, what would you love? What would you love? And so many women in the women that I work with specifically are overwhelmed female breadwinners, because that's what I was. I was a single mom raising 2 kids, doing massage in a small town, which, I mean, you look at that and you're like, how? People used to come up to me on the street and like, how are you doing? How are you doing? And I got the feeling like they didn't think I was going to be able to survive up here or make a living up here. And I would just always say, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And I'd always give thanks, huge gratitude to anybody who came in. And yeah, I was doing great. I was being sustained. I was sustained. I was being able to, afford my life and support my children. Yeah, but we get to ask that. What would you love? What would you love? I got a truck.
Some people, like especially women, we have so many hats and we have so much going on that a lot of us, we don't even know what we love.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're overwhelmed and we're taking
Right.
care of everybody else. And that's why I love working with us women who are like that, because we do get to take a deep breath in and out and consider it. Consider it. Because we do get to have whatever we would love on the planet. I mean, we're here for a reason. I really believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. I really believe that we are more powerful than we think. We need to get out of our own way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you say that's the main thing that you coach people on?
Yeah.
And where do you start? Like when a woman comes to you and, I mean, I don't want to say too much. If you're that interested, get in the program.
So,
but what are some things that you can share with us?
Yeah, I can share. I love to share as much as I can. So yeah, right now what I'm doing is I'm doing an offer for it's 5 days one-on-one with me, and I give you 3 steps to mastering results in your life. Because one of the things that blew my mind about getting this coaching certification is that there's a formula to success. And so we teach people the language of success. And it's not hard. I mean, I always thought it was hard. I always thought getting what I want was hard. It's not hard. It's just we're not given these tools. We're not taught how to do this in school, Mm-hmm. This is something that's elementary. I was listening to Bob Proctor today, and he was like, it's not too early to teach somebody who's 5 years old the tools of success. Super easy. It's just a formula. You guys want to know the formula?
I do.
Okay. Basically, your thoughts create your feelings create your actions, and your actions create your results. So if you're having a thought that's positive or negative, you're going to do something. You're going to create a result based on that thought. And a lot of times people ask me, why is everything always happening bad to me? When's the other shoe going to drop? And it's like, yeah, the other shoe's going to drop because you're thinking that the other shoe is going to drop. You don't want that other shoe to drop, then stop thinking that. I'm sorry, be Pollyanna. I've been called Pollyanna, but be Pollyanna. Think of sunshine and rainbows and ponies.
Wait, who's Pollyanna?
Oh, see, she's too young. She's too young to know who Pollyanna is. Oh my God. I love it.
She sounds cool, doesn't she?
Pollyanna was a Disney film from probably even before my time, earlier than I was born. And she was somebody who always saw the sunny side of things. But if you want to create sunny side results, you have to think sunny side things. And that doesn't mean that bad things aren't going to happen, but there's a way to respond when something bad happens. The fire was horrible for me. I mean, I went through it just like everybody else. But after about 3 weeks, I said, excuse me, fuck this. I'm either going to survive or I'm not. I'm either going to be resilient or I'm not. And actually, I mean, I was gifted tools because I was like, something's got to give. I mean, I'm either going to just fall apart even more than I am, or I'm going to build myself up. And when I made the decision that I needed some help, the help came. And then from there, I was like, oh, I already have this tool. Oh, I already have this tool. Oh, I already have this tool. And so I just started building on my recovery by using the tools in my toolkit. And everybody can have access to these tools. And I want to share these tools with everybody.
And at what point in your journey did you become an author and start writing?
I've always written. I've always written. My mother thought I was going to be a writer because when I was in the 6th grade, I wrote a little book that it was a 6th grade substitute who I loved. I loved her better than my teacher. And she had us write a book and actually like bind them and everything.
Wow.
And it was called something like Nemo and his little friend. And I think my mom always said, you're going to write. Or she never said that if my mother had encouraged me, I probably would have been a writer. But she just thought I would always be a writer. So I've always written things throughout my life. I've written a cookbook. It was
a
like
cookbook.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I've just always like journaled and read. I've got published poetry out there, and stuff like that. But when, the internet's really good, I just, it's just, okay, I'm just going to start writing. And especially when it came to money mindset, I was like, everybody gets to know these tools. Why should I sit on them and not share them with everybody? And sure, a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy because I'm talking about energy and things that aren't tangible, you can't feel or touch. But what I love about the evolution of society is that people are more aware that we are energy and that everything is created twice, once in thought, and then once it's thought, then it can become physically manifested. And that's more and more people are like getting that. And quantum physics isn't such a hidden science anymore. And if we just get out of our own way and come back to we're all energy, everything we put out there is going to come back to us. People are feeling us. We're connected in a deeper ways than we even know. Then really we can have everything that we want. And so that's why I started writing again. Yeah. And just sharing my point of view. And if you think I'm crazy, that's fine. Little crazy is okay.
Needed in this world, I would say.
Exactly. Yes.
And I know that a big theme in the book that you provide me, and it is the Abundant Healer. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah. It's the Abundant Healer. I've rewritten it and called it the Abundant Human because I wrote it first for people who were healers because I thought they would get it first. And I'm like, everybody needs this. So I just changed the title to the Abundant Human. And I added some things into it and some exercises. Yeah.
I know that a huge theme of it is gratitude.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk on a little bit about how gratitude has changed your life for
Absolutely.
the better?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I think everything starts with gratitude. So if you really want to change your life, develop a gratitude practice and not something like, I practice gratitude. I'm thankful for everything. Sorry. I'm thankful for everything. Yes.
Get specific.
Yeah, a gratitude practice is really specific. And that's what I learned from the Australian group is they said the first thing you do is you read the book The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. And it blew my mind. It just blew my mind because you're actually doing gratitude that's specific for certain things. You're being grateful for your body. You're being grateful for your feet. You're being grateful for the people that you work with. You're using gratitude to heal relationships. And so you're bringing gratitude to bring in more money. Because again, gratitude is the language of abundance. So if you want more abundance in your life, you start with gratitude. And I started to feel better about my life. Like I said, at that time, 2019, I was going through all this kind of, not necessarily self-doubt, but just kind of the icks. You know, you get it?
Yes.
You guys get the icks?
Yes.
And so I started to do this gratitude practice, and it's like 28 days. You can do anything for 28 days, you know, and if you don't do a day, you go back and you start over. But anyway, no, you go back 3 days and do it from there. But it just made such a big difference in my life. I could start to see I was internally feeling better, but also opportunities that were coming my way that I wasn't receiving before. And so when you start to see life happening as you and for you, you get more excited about life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you go around, you think life is happening to me. Yeah, that's a sucky place to be. I get it. I've been there too. Yeah. But gratitude helps you really see that life is happening for you.
What a small but powerful shift in thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like you said, our thoughts create our reality, and I'm a huge believer in that. I actually talked about that on What a Full Circle Moment, because this is I believe you're episode 20.
Okay.
And episode 1, I talked about that in episode 1, so it's kind of full circle.
Yay!
So what are you working on now? What kind of projects do you have going on now?
Okay, so yeah. I'm building my coaching practice right now. And so that's why I'm offering, it can be women and men, but you know, I'm mostly like gearing towards women right now. It's a 5-day challenge. It's free. You work one-on-one with me for 5 days. I take you through 3 steps of mastering your results. And after the 5 days, I invite you, if you want to keep working more with me, we can do a 12-week or 3-month coaching session where you get to learn all the tools that I've been taught to help change your life, to help you really step into owning a life that you would love. And it's not just about creating. I mean, we go through forgiveness, we go through resentments, we go through a lot of these life issues that we put in our way instead of just going for things that we would love. A lot of the women that I talk to, it's like, it's all about time. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Okay, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. So, you know, one of the stories I'd love to share with people is this story about the big rocks. Have you ever heard the big rock story? Mm-mm. Okay. Can I share the big rock story?
Please do.
Okay, great.
This is story time. We love a good story time. That's what we're here for.
Okay, cool. So there's this physics teacher, and he's got a classroom, and he brings in this huge glass jar one day. And he starts to fill it with these huge rocks. And he asks his class, is the jar full? And everybody's like, yeah, you can't put anything else in that jar. And so then he takes out a bag of pebbles, and he pours the pebbles in this jar, and he fills it up to the top. And he goes, hey, now is this jar full? And they're like, yeah, now it's full. Now it's full. So then he takes a bag of sand, and he throws the bag of sand inside this jar, and he fills the rest of the spaces up with sand. And he asks the class, is the jar full? And the class is kind of like, oh, he's kept saying other things. Maybe this isn't full yet. And so like, yeah, maybe, yeah, it looks full. Yeah, it looks full. So then he gets a jug of water, and he pours water over the sand and over the pebbles and over the rocks until it's totally full. And he goes, now it's full. We've created, we've filled up all the spaces. And so the meaning of the story is time is an illusion, but if you want control of your time, you think about the big rocks first. You put the big rocks in your calendar first. You make sure you have the big rocks, you give them enough time first. So if you have values of family or your kids or whatever, you make sure you schedule that time first. And then all the other stuff is going to fill up the rest of your jar. The pebbles, which, pebbles and sand and water, a lot of it is just stuff. I get it. We have to go to work and stuff like that. And a lot of people complain, I have to work too much. But if you put your big rocks first in your jar, then you don't feel like you're running out of time. You start to feel like you have more time because you're prioritizing what's really important to you.
That's really big. That's huge.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm like mind blown. I'm thinking like, okay, my first question is, how many big rocks can you have?
I mean, I would say you can have as many as you can hold, right?
However big your jar is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because we're limitless beings,
Yeah.
right? So whatever you can hold. Yeah.
That was like mind blowing, Nancy.
I know. Well, that's what this coaching's all about. That's why I love this coaching.
Oh my gosh.
That's why you guys, everybody's got to come
Yes.
be coached by me, because it's full of these kind of stories and
Like
this kind of,
aha
yeah,
moments.
and these kind of aha moments. And it's just like, why aren't we taught this?
Yeah.
I just heard the big rock story and I was like, why wasn't I taught this when I was a single mom? If I had had these tools when I was a single mom and I was trying to raise my children, I'm going to cry again, I'm a crier, but oh my gosh, I would have lived my life differently. Mm-hmm. And I know we can't take anything back, and I don't regret anything, but because now I can give my adult children these tools and say, live better. Mm-hmm. Live better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to make me cry. So now you have these books out and you have all these wonderful tools and you're juggling multiple locations. Mm-hmm. So can you share what some of your rocks are, or how do you juggle all this stuff?
I put my big rocks in first.
She practiced what she
I practice
preaches.
what I preach. We have these values in the Brave Thinking Institute that I'm certified with. And one of them is that we practice what we preach. And I do practice what I preach. So I put my big rocks first. My big rocks are my family, playing golf.
Oh, fun.
Being of service to other people, my garden. Little things. I'm at this moment in my life or whatever, I'm not shooting for the moon. My biggest desire still and is just to live a happy life, right? Live a happy life. And that's possible because now I have the tools to do that. And if I grow and soar and get bigger than that, great. I'm happy to do that too. I've just entered a speakers contest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm going to be spending next week kind of honing a speech, and then I'll be in a speakers contest with 1,000 other people and see how I do. I'm gearing for the top. I think for me, shooting for top 10 is probably out of my wheelhouse, but then that's my thought, right? I got to change my thought.
I think you're going to win.
Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to think I'm going to win. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. That's one of my big projects that I'm doing right now. I have a friend who y'all, maybe some of you from Greenville and Taylorsville remember Kanda. She was from Thailand. And so I have a friend who keeps in contact with her. We're going to plan a retreat for women in Thailand with Kanda. So that's one of my big rock projects that are coming up. Yeah. And I have a big kind of event that I'll be going to in Tahoe in August. And then we'll see. A lot of times I take it one day at a time and plan out what I desire in the meantime. Yeah.
A lot of fun stuff
Yeah.
on the horizon for sure.
Yeah.
So we spoke about how gratitude is one of the big themes, but it seems like another big theme is, the abundance, and you have the money dance, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of women are almost scared to accept abundance. We talked on the phone before. Fun fact, if you're ever thinking about coming on a podcast, we will have a little phone call first just so we can get to know each other. We're not total strangers. So when you and I were talking, we talked about scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about the scarcity mindset and what you see a lot of women struggle with?
I think it's just a universal conditioning. I'm going to call it conditioning. It's just programming is another word. Just like we watch TV and it's a program. We've been programmed, and I feel like a lot of women are programmed, and really just this is all people. This is my opinion. People are programmed that the only source of their income or financial dollars is the work that they do. So that's slave mentality. That's where you go and exchange your time for money. Well, abundance and financial success is so much larger than that. When you can open up, and that's what my Abundant Human book is really about. It's not about what society tells you how to make money, which are great things, and budgeting's a great thing, and investing's a great thing, and that's all great. But if you don't follow that up with your mindset of being able to receive money from all sources and all avenues, then you're going to be stuck in that slave mentality that you exchange your time for money. Does that help? Did I explain it okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think about like 9 to 5.
Oh my gosh, 9 to 5. Loved it. I loved it in a way. It's a consistent paycheck if you're working for something that you're getting well paid for, right? It's sustainable. And if you put all your eggs in that one basket, what happens when you get laid off? What happens if you get sick? So money doesn't have, your work does not have to be your only source of finances. You can create anything, or you can just receive. A lot of times it's just, the money dance is all about being able to receive and just be in love with money, because a lot of people who have money scarcity mindset, they were brought up, again, programmed that money is evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. I'm not good enough to make $1 million. That's for somebody else. Rich people are evil.
Yeah.
And if you have those thoughts about money, then of course money is not going to want to come to you, because it's just like being in a bad relationship. Money loves fun.
Should we do the money dance?
Yeah, let's do the money dance.
We're going to do the money dance.
Seriously, the money dance is super easy, and you get to be silly, you get to be a little kid, and if you're not having fun doing it, then you're not doing it right. That's all. So all we're going to do is we're going to jump around and be silly, and we're going to say at the top of our lungs, I love money and money loves me.
Can we be at the top of our lungs here?
Yeah. Nobody else is here.
Except for money.
So, hey, 1, 2, 3.
I love money and money loves me. I love money and money loves me. I love money and money loves me. I love money and money loves me.
That's it. And go out in nature. We have beautiful nature here.
Yeah.
Right? And then you can scream it at the top of your lungs. Or do it with your kids. Grab your hands and like ring around the rosy. Right? Ring around the rosy. I love money and money loves me.
I feel like $1 million.
And it raises your vibration.
Girls, I hope that you joined us in that venture.
I hope you guys did too.
I love that.
Yeah. Money gets to be fun. Wealth gets to be fun. Your life gets to be fun. We just have to turn a little screw in there that life is hard. I get it. Women do it all. I get it. We've been, again, conditioned and programmed. Like part of my money story was that I had to find a man to take care of me because that's.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, but that was my condition. That was my
is
programming.
So me.
Okay,
That
guys.
is so me.
Okay. Yeah. Is it still going? I don't know. It's okay.
No, that's going in
okay.
for sure.
Okay,
No,
great.
'cause
Yeah.
So how did your mind shift from that ultimately?
Ultimately, it boggled my mind. First, I had to become aware of it. So I didn't know I had that thinking in a way. And I was kind of in this coaching situation with somebody, and it really came out. And I'm like, oh my God. I was always brought up that the man took care of everything. And when I was in relationships with men, I always attracted the losers. I always attracted the guys who didn't have any money. I still do. But I have a better mindset about it because it's like, of course, a man doesn't need to take care of me for me to be in a relationship with him. Of course, I am an independent woman. I get to have as much money as I desire. Of course, I don't have to have somebody take care of me because I have a higher source that does that. And all I have to do is tap into that higher source and put my trust in that than another human being, because that's where we get tricky and iffy when we put our faith in other humans. I love other humans, but we're all walking around in our own meat suit and we all have our flaws. And so the only really pure power is our infinite power, or you can call it your infinite self or your intuition or your God, whatever you want to call it. It's out there and we're all energy. So we've got to just connect to that energy of independence, if that's what it is, or money, if that's what it is, and have fun with it.
Well, that was super fun. The money dance. I love that. That was so fun. So, speaking of energy and meat suits and all that,
Yeah.
totally going to segue. We're going to switch gears here.
Sure.
So, are you also a clairvoyant? I think we kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Do you want to share anything about that?
Sure.
I'm going to make sure we're both in frame because
Yeah.
we were doing the money dance and it got crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Cool. I call myself an energy healer. I don't really call myself a clairvoyant, but I do receive messages. I love to help people clear their energy. And I love being in that energetic space with them where I'm picking up vibrations that aren't theirs, right? I was working on a friend of mine, and she'd been working with a shaman, and they were doing some past life regression with Egyptian energy and she said, I'm feeling off. I just don't know what's really going on. And I go, okay. So I touched her feet, and all of a sudden I'm like, you got a backpacker, you got a hitchhiker on your back. And I don't know what it is, but it's just like, I can feel that. And I go, there's an Egyptian who came back here with you. Do you want this energy with you? And she's like, no, get rid of it. Energy healing is just part of being a spiritual being. We all have the tools. We all have the capacity to do it. It's just that because I've done massage for 27 years and because I practiced Tai Chi for 27 years, it puts me in a more receptive place. And my mind turns off and I listen and hear things without words, but with an inner knowing. And so that's kind of how I am clairvoyant. I don't turn it on all the time because I don't want to freak everybody out, and I don't want to freak me out either. But when people come to me, it's like when I'm doing these 5-day challenges with people right now, I give homework. I give homework every day. And most of the homework that I'm giving right now is helping people just tune in and tap in to relaxation, but like to Mother Earth, to learn how to ground, or tuning in to their higher self and opening up to the vortex above our 300 feet above our head, which is where the light beings live and how we connect to God. It's 300 feet above there. That's not very far.
That's not. Actually. That's like right about your crown chakra.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of the homework I'm giving women right now who are looking to reclaim their life and be out of overwhelm. It's learning to tap into our inner wisdom that was, I'm sorry, patriarchs, but it was, I don't know, Mist of Babylon. If you ever read any of those stories, you know that the patriarchal society came in hundreds of years ago and squashed the female power, intuition. And it's not that guys can't do this. It's just that being a feminine being, being born a female, we're receptive. It's a receptive energy.
Yeah. And we're the closest thing to God because we are the creators.
Yeah.
We create life. That's the closest thing to God.
Yeah.
So, fun fact. Fuck you, patriarchy. Clear out the negative energy. I don't know if YouTube will maybe cut that out or not.
It's up to you. We love men. I think we love men and we love the male, but because we're all both beings. We're all male, female energies inside of us. But it's hard. It's hard to know when you're growing up a woman I don't know, my time and your time, it sounds like, and all time, that we're not valued, we're not respected, our wisdom is put down.
Witchcraft.
Yeah, witchcraft. Our intuition is looked askewed at, and so it's the steamroller energy, the masculine energy, which is the do, the hustle, where when we can just stop and be open and receptive, that's when things can come to us. And we've been brainwashed again. We've been programmed as single moms or as female breadwinners. We got to hustle. And it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
That's probably, I would imagine, is what you see a lot of leading to burnout. Because I know
Exactly.
that's one of your big talking points as well.
Yeah.
Women are burnt out.
Yeah.
So how do you protect your energy? Like for any of the girls watching this that wants to get a massage or do readings like you do or energy work, how do you make sure to protect your energy and yourself?
Oh, that's a big can of worms, but it's a good one. I was telling my girlfriend recently, because I was taking her through kind of a grounding exercise. Being grounded is one way that you can protect your energy. Connecting to your higher power is another way. But you come to this point where it's called ABC, always be connected. So you're always connected to your higher self, and you have a belief that everything is always working out for you.
I love that. Another powerful, small but powerful.
Yeah. I mean, I could
thing.
take you through a whole energy clearing thing, and there's protection and blah, blah, blah. But the one thing that I was sharing with my friend about ABC, always be connected, she felt like something was, didn't know whether she needed to keep her crown chakra open or not, because she thought that evil things were going to come her way. But that only happens when you believe evil things are going to come your way.
Mm-hmm. When you're thinking that.
Yeah. I've always believed that I was a light worker, that I'm co-creating with the highest good of all. So protection is just all about awareness, I guess. Mm-hmm. You can feel it. You can feel it when you walk in a room and there's something funky.
So you've done all these amazing things, and now you're here in Quincy.
Yeah.
So what would you like the people of Quincy to come see you for, or to know, or?
I'm not an evil witch. I'm not a witch. I would love the people in Quincy to come see me for energy work. I like doing massage, but I love doing energy work. I love helping you discover your chakra system and even cleanse and clean your chakras. I love when somebody comes to me and who's open, and somebody from who's passed on comes in and wants to share. I love when people are open to their guides and angels coming in. And and what's so lovely about this work is usually you get off the table, you feel lighter, you have a tool that's going to carry you through whatever issue you're going through.
And for anyone who maybe is interested in having that done but doesn't know what it entails, can you walk us through like what you'll have to do?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. When somebody specifically just wants energy work, I have them just come and we talk and you tell me what's going on. And if there's something negative that you need to get off your chest and you're not able to shift it yourself, we just get you on the table and I just read you. Basically. Yeah. I touch points of the body and they talk to me and then I tell you out loud what's going on. And if you're not supposed to know, you won't get anything. I mean, you won't get me. I won't tell you if you're not, if you're in a massage and I notice something, I'll ask you, are you open? Are you open for me to tell you what's going on? I've had people be on the massage table and I was just talking to a friend and she said, I told her she had an angry leg. And I have no idea what that means. But I just say whatever is coming up. I had one woman on the table and I was, working on her shoulders and I just said, your husband and you are having this discussion about something and it's really burdening you, because what our emotions are stuck in our tissue.
The body keeps the score.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So what I love about energy work is I don't have to do a lot of touching or massage therapy, but if you have something that's stuck in your tissue that's causing you pain, then I just touch it and we see what comes out. Yeah. It's the whole thing. It's like, who's being a pain in your neck? You have a pain in the neck. Well, and you don't know where it came from. Well, who in your life is being the pain in the neck?
Or sometimes I get phantom pains.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that, my ankle has been bothering me and I've been feeling really guilty about not seeing my family and my grandpa has a bad ankle. And so lately my ankle's been really bothering me.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so I think
Yeah.
so things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was working on a client, her wrist hurt, and I'm like, stop that. I told her, stop that. You're giving me your wrist pain. I don't want it. I get it. It hurts, but don't give it to me. Let's get rid of it together.
Yeah. And I think, the normal day-to-day person, they don't know that it works like that, but it does.
Yeah.
It totally does.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's pretty amazing. And energy is pretty amazing, and I don't know, if you weren't watching us, we wouldn't be here because that's how energy works.
Oh, yeah.
It's from the observer. Mm-hmm. It's from the observer, So if we weren't here, none of this stuff would be here. None of this stuff would be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be put together in the way that we see it. And even perception, even our eyes and our perception, it's not always true.
That's true.
It just looks that way. Mm-hmm. And the best lesson of this, go play golf. You want to get a good lesson at this, go play golf. You hit the ball, you think it goes in the sand trap, and it's 10 feet in front of it. Because from your point of view, that's what you see. Mm-hmm. That's what your mind says you see. And that's the same in certain circumstances in life as well.
Have you seen the movie? This is totally random, but have you seen the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so into that kind of stuff, like multiple dimensions, and you can call upon yourself. That's in another dimension for those skills. We could get real weird.
We
girls.
could totally. Oh my gosh,
real weird.
We could nerd out on this because right now there's another me and there's another you living in another reality.
100%.
Yeah, and if this reality wants to up level, yes, we get to call on the higher reality and say, what do I need to do today? This is one of the tools that I teach. What do I need to do today to get to where you are at?
Mm-hmm.
And you just take baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also, like, sometimes I've been in situations where my intuition is like screaming at me, and I think it's myself from another dimension saying like, hey, don't do this, or like, hey, follow through on this thought you're having. So that's, we're two nerdy girls.
Yeah, we're quantum nerds.
100%. Okay, so I'm gonna take a guess. Are you an astral projector?
I can do that. Yes, but
Yeah.
it's not like anything that I practice, on a consistent basis. When I met my partner, he lived in Paradise and I lived in Greenville, and so we would meet each other in our dreams. And we would call each other, and before we would go to sleep, we would set the intention and we'd set the place, and then we would meet each other in our dreams.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm totally like into all this stuff, and it's still like so taboo to talk about because it's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, we're let's cut the rug,
Yeah. Let's just call it what it is, girls.
Yeah.
You're already like, that's the other thing is I feel like a lot of women have this vision of themselves that's everything they want to be and so successful, and they're like, oh, that's not me. Girl, that already is you in another dimension. That's why you're even having that thought.
Exactly.
Hello?
Yeah, because all of our dreams, all of the things that we want, all of the things that we can't stand, those are all clues of what God, if you want to call it God, your higher self, your quantum self, those are all clues that those are the things that you get to have. So we call them longing and discontent in my coaching container. What we long for, what we can't stand, those are clues from our higher power, from our higher self to have more, because we are all created to grow, just like that tree, just like a tree grows, right? Or a daisy grows up out of the cracks. We all have a growth cycle, and we're meant to expand. And so those longing and discontents, what we would love to have and what we don't want anymore, those are our clues that something wants us to expand. Something wants us to have more than what we have. And when I tapped into that, again, it was like you said, mind blowing, because I had always grown up not wanting things, because what I saw, or my perception was, when you asked for more, when you wanted more, you got punished.
You're selfish, you're greedy,
Yeah.
be smaller.
Exactly. That's not how God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, that's not how we're created. We are each created with a light inside of us. We're each created to shine that light for each other, towards each other, to uplift each other.
I love this episode. I love that I got a quantum physics girly on the podcast, girl. I'm so excited about that. Any final closing thoughts or any advice or anything else that you'd like to touch on?
All right. I guess I just want everybody here in Plumas County, or everybody who's watching, to know that you're not alone. That we're on this planet to really help each other and guide each other and support each other. And so if you're in pain, if you're having a hard time, if you are struggling, reach out. I'm going to give you my information. I would love to talk to you. I'm sure Shelby's here to help anybody who asks for help. I feel like there's a heaviness in Plumas County, and it's been here from the day that I got here, but there's a lightness with it too. But there's definitely much more of a heaviness in the beliefs that people have here. And I think it's time that we rise out of that negative thinking and those limiting thoughts, and we really bring this county into the spectacularness that it can be again. Because I think we're all here. We all landed in Plumas County for some cosmic reason. So let's make it cosmic while we're here.
Yes. Let's.
Because I don't really want to move again.
Me either.
And I really don't want to fire again. So let's tell the fires not to come. And we have that power. We have that power to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how can people reach you? What is the best way for people to reach you?
Okay.
And we'll link it all in the description too.
So I got my notebook out. All right. So I have an email. You can email me, and should I just let them? you want me to tell them?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Nance Elaine at A Betty Life. And A Betty Life is another way to say a better life. So Nance with a E, Elaine. And then I'm on Facebook as Nancy E. Presser. So that's my personal page. You can find me there. You can message me there. And I just started a Facebook group, which I would love anybody who's seen this and got some value from what we were talking about today to join. It's called Turned On and Thriving for Women Who Do It All. And then I also said that I am running these free 5-day challenges for anybody who would like to learn more about the coaching and the tools that I have to provide you. Yeah. And plus the 2 ebooks.
Yes. Pretty much anything you need.
Which she read one. She read The Abundant Human. There's Unlocking Financial Freedom Without Sacrificing Yourself. And I just got some great feedback on that from a friend. And then I just wrote one and published it. It's on Facebook, From Worn Out to Turned On, A New Path for Women Who Do It All.
Literally something for everyone.
Yeah.
And you're a VA, I don't know, just like you said, I don't know what you call it.
I'm a provider. I'm a massage insurance provider for veterans. Being on the planet for as many years as I've been on, and being involved in energetic healing arts for as long as there's something I can help you with.
Well, I think that is a wrap. And thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you so much. I had a blast.
My quantum physics sister in the universe.
Exactly.
And thank you, girls, for watching. And be sure to hit subscribe and like and share. And stay tuned for next week's episode.
This is Kuan Yin. She is the goddess of compassion. So she's a friend of my friend who I've shared this, and she just comes and makes sure that we're all in empathy and compassion together.